This year marks the centennial, the 100th anniversary of the founding of a small Klamath County town that may be a wide spot in the road today, but has a colorful history.
In tonight's Oregon Trails, News Watch 12's Ron Brown takes us to Beatty, and we'll meet some of the old timers who recall what makes a town a community and what has changed in the last half century.
I think it was a bustling little town. What you had was 3 grocery stores. You had a lot of loggers and a lot of farmers, cowboys and stuff, so on. One of the fanciest rodeos in the country.
Donald Ling grew up in the eastern Klamath County town of Beatty in the 30s and 40s. Back then, it was a Klamath Indian reservation town straddling Highway 140, never incorporated, about halfway between Klamath Falls and Lakeview. Today, it's not much more than just a wide spot in the road with only a small mini-market and deli and a few houses. Beatty is named for Reverend J.L. Beatty, who was able to get the first post office here in 1913. The first store was in the woodshed of the parsonage, and by 1915, the first real store was built. Over the years, several other stores have come and gone along the highway. Don Ling said it was a simple life with few modern conveniences and a real sense of community.
What I tell people is all we had was rocks, blocks, and beer bottles to play with, and we had lots of them, so we got pretty good at throwing rocks and playing make a block of wood anything you wanted. It could be a bulldozer, it could be some kind of a truck, whatever you wanted to play with it, you know.
And it was pretty wild back in those days. And Beatty has always been a rodeo community, and lots of cowboys back in the day came through. Old-time cowboys was here, and I can remember waking up and Slim Pickens would be at our house. And Larry Mahan actually lived in this house here.
Mostly they were horsebackers. They rode their horses, and then we'd have a lot of rodeos, and I remember going to quite a few rodeos, and they had dances down in the big gym, and there was quite a few people that were living in Beatty at that time.
They used to have rodeo Sunday here, and I'd bring my horses from where that casino is down there. We lived down there, and I'd come horseback and be here before noon when the rodeo started.
It was a nice place because my husband was a cop. He policed dances about every Saturday night at the old high school gym or grade school gym that's now gone. And he liked to sit there and watch all the people come and go and drink and dance. And they had a really nice time. Hardly ever had to arrest anybody and just sit and watch the dances.
If they did have to arrest somebody, there was a little blockhouse jail in town where the rowdies could cool off. That was also torn down several years ago. This photo is a long panoramic view of most of the population of Beatty gathered together in 1929. There were 3 or 4 stores at one time or another in Beatty, but those are all gone now. Most of them burned down.
There's no more rodeos here. Many of the Indians have died or moved away. My dad built the Palomino Deli. He was a mechanic, and that's evolved from the being a mechanic shop and to a post office, to a store, to a deli and mini mart. And the others are all closed or burnt up.
Cookie Walker, yeah, she was one of the last owners of back in the heyday. Her bar burned down and restaurant, just like the other ones. They all burned down. Not sure how, but they're gone.
Today, the gas station is closed. The church is boarded up. A small community center run by the Klamath tribe is next to the old church, and it has a small playground out back. There is no school. There is a cluster of tribal houses back of the church and a scattering of old vacant buildings in the area who have weathered a lot of cold Beatty Valley winters. And on a hill east of town, this picturesque cemetery, Brown Cemetery, overlooking the Sprague River, is the final resting place of many local residents. Some of the biggest changes came in the early 60s with the dissolution of the Klamath Reservation.
Everybody start moving away, and then everybody start dying out, moving Beatty especially.
It was a different era when they started selling out and people started moving in, wanting big ranches. And all you can grow in this country is hay. It's not, our weather's not good for farm country.
But now there ain't nobody lives around here.
It's nothing out there that when I go through now, I can't imagine sidewalks being in Beatty. When they told us that, we had to make a special trip out to look and see.
There are not a lot of the old-timers still left around Beatty. Little town has changed and shrunken down quite a bit since the reservation was terminated almost 50 years ago.
And back in those days, you could hitch a ride with anybody. Everybody knew who you were, where you were going, and we was usually going halfway between Bly and Beatty to go swimming. Didn't matter who you were or what you were, or, it was a family. It was a whole family of people.
In Beatty, Ron Brown, Newswatch 12.